What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Scale News Update. If you're not familiar with the show, this is where we talk about the news topics that happened in the scale world of RC over the past week. If you enjoy the Scale News Update, hit the like button now. Let's jump into this week's topics. First for this week, FMS is jumping into the 124 scale monster truck scene with their new FCX24 Max Smasher monster truck. This is a very Bigfoot-esque looking little monster truck. Right? Basically the same drivetrain that we saw under the previous FCX, which has the Power Wagon body on it, but now with monster truck tires and a different body. That does include also that this has portals on it rather than just a standard straight axle. Not a lot of options in the 124 scale monster truck scene, so those that are looking to build something in that area, I'm sure we'll be happy to see this out of the box solution. We haven't seen full details on this come out yet, just some social media posts here and there, but I assume that details will be right around the corner. I have to imagine that the price is going to be right in line with the other FCX24. Next, for you Sanwa radio fans, it looks like they're coming out with a new 4-channel radio. This is the MTR. Previously, they had the MT44, and before that, they had the MT4. The Sanwa radios are nice, comfortable. They've got some good controllability on them. This one, it appears like it's going to have most of the same controls. You can't really tell what is going to be new exactly, mainly because I've only seen these press releases on the Japanese side. Haven't seen anything on the US side of things. So not 100% sure when the release date of this is going to be, but hopefully we find all that information out here before long. If you've been thinking about getting a new 4-channel Sanwa, either wait and save some money on the MT44 or get the new one. Proline by the Fire is just around the corner. If you had the opportunity to make it to the event at Horseman Center Park down in Southern California, absolutely try and do so. It's a fantastic event. If you don't have tickets, I believe you can still get them day of at the event. I'll post a link to the site with all the information just so you can make sure, check your travel plans. Either way, if you had the opportunity, you think you could make it, do it. It's absolutely worth it. It's a super open event. Pretty much everything is allowed, anything goes, and it's just a great time with big crowds, camping on site or amenities nearby. Worth the trip. Highly recommend. We'll be there and looking to have a great time. And the weather is supposed to be fantastic. So looking forward to it. Hopefully I'll see a bunch of you there. This week I saw a new hardbody option listed on Club 5. This is a new discovery, a body that I don't see a lot of options for typically. But this one being listed by Club 5 at this point, oftentimes you'll see them through multiple brands, but at this point, this is the only place I've seen it. Probably available elsewhere also, but this is the first one that I ran across. Doesn't look too bad. I'm not a huge Rover fan in general, but this Discovery, not a bad looking option. It's shown in this, kind of brownish color, but it does come in just a standard white. You'll have to do the finishing yourself. So I've been looking for something a little bit different. This is a 313 millimeter wheelbase, so super standard based on most of the trail truck platforms that are sold currently. And speaking of hard body rovers, RC Dream Wilderness posted this one here. Now, again, this is a Defender topless. We've seen this one not too long ago. We talked about it a little bit, but recently they posted this up, which shows these detachable or changeable fenders, which allows you to go from a more stock style conservative wheel size opening or swap them out and you can go with a much larger, higher clearance opening. Kind of a cool idea. As the number of options of hard bodies expand, it's cool to see different approaches being taken. While Discoveries and Defenders may not be my favorite, appreciate seeing more options becoming available on the market. I want to thank Xometry for sponsoring this month of the Scale News Update. Xometry is an on-demand manufacturing platform where you can take your file, upload it, and get an instant quote, whether that be for standard 3D printing or CNC machining, injection molding, plasma cutting, laser cutting, whatever it may be. Xometry has partnered with over 5,000 shops to be able to offer you this super fast process where you can get these instant quotes and get your parts quickly. When you upload your part onto their instant quoting engine, you can quickly get a price, or you can edit the manufacturing process that you want. If you want to upload a file and just get a standard FDM 3D print, or you can modify it to get a nice SLS 3D print. For parts that are appropriate for machining, you can take it to that. chat and get a price right away, just in case you've got an idea that you want to get off the ground and you don't know how to do it. But no matter what it is, 3D printing or machining, there's a code so you can save $25 off your first order in the link in the description below. Put that code in, follow the link, save yourself some money, have something made. Red Cat just released the standard version of the 59 Impala lowrider. They initially released this 59 as a Jevries special edition. There's only, I think, 1,000 made available. And now that those were sold basically instantly, they came out with the standard version, not the Jevries special collectible serial numbered, the whole deal. So if you were a big fan of the 59, now you can get it. A couple of different color options available. This is the full spec, fully hopping lowrider. They've got some that are just more, three wheel and, do the standard lowrider things, but not full hopping. This one, however, the full boat. Now, this makes their fourth option, I believe, for the lowrider platform. They got the 64, the 59, the G body, and I think that there's, maybe the other one is just a body option only. I think it was like a 62 or something like that, but no matter what, Red Cat just trying to cover the bases, find the body option that you want to make you hover over that add to cart and check out, get yourself a lowrider. RC 4-Wheel Drive just announced the WARN Advanced Wireless Remote Receiver Winch Controller Set. This is their newest winch remote, which it looks like it has the same receiver side, the winch controller receiver that goes in the vehicle. Looks like that's the same as the previous version, but a new upgraded or upstyled remote to it. This is in case you don't want to run your winch through your radio and you want a separate controller. It says that it has an on-off switch, which maybe that's just so you don't hit the button and kill the battery inside of the remote itself, but they're rubber buttons now rather than plastic. It may look like it has a screen, but I believe that is just a decal made to be styled like one of the, full-size WARN controllers, just not quite so full-size. Has a lanyard loop on the little transmitter itself, as well as the lanyard that would go through there. This thing is said to have 50 feet of range and run on up to a 3S LiPo. So if you were adding a winch and you didn't have a radio that was capable of controlling it, or you just wanted it separate for some reason, you can check out this controller available now. My Trick RC is teasing that they've got a light set coming out for the Traxxas Ultimate Hauler. That's the big flatbed tow truck style rig that Traxxas released not too long ago. But this one, looks like they've got the emergency light bar set up on the roof, and the lights that they show on in the photo look like most of the standard lights that came on the vehicle. Not sure if they're going to tie into that, maybe add some sort of flashing functionality or what they're going to do other than just that light bar on the top. But My Trick RC's got some cool light controllers, so could be interesting. Looking forward to it. If you've been thinking about adding more lights to your Ultimate Hauler, this one may be worth holding out for. They do a great job with their options. So you can check that out, My Trick RC. I'll link to their page as well as the rest of the stories we've talked about in today's news in the description below. And speaking of Traxxas, the TRX4M demo units are starting to hit hobby shops. So you're gonna start being in hobby shops' hands. Customers can come in, see them in person, and I think that they'll be impressed in person. They're definitely a cool little truck. Now, last week in the Scale News, I did talk about these, and there was some confusion with a small number of people. From what I've been told, these are going to be available online only at Traxxas. But if you want to go to a physical hobby shop, they will have them there as well. It's just the online side is going to be on Traxxas.com. From what I'm told, that is how that is going to be, at least in the US and at least at the release of the truck. So if that changes down the road, depending on whenever you're seeing this video, who knows? But from what I'm told, that is going to be how that truck is rolled out. Then TWS has posted up some prototype photos of the CJ7 body that's made to fit the TWS CTS VTR, which is basically the TWS version of the MST CMX. That's a lot of three-letter, just MST, CMX, TVR, or TWS VCR. Either way, this is made to fit that little platform, so it's around that 10-inch wheelbase, which is pretty short. It's a CJ7, which I know was a small vehicle, but we scale those up like early Broncos all the time, and they fit 12.3s fine. This still just that small body to fit those small platform trucks that are basically like the Tamiya hard bodies, just like the YJ hard body that you can already buy. We covered the early renderings of the TWS CJ7 a while back. Now we're just seeing the first Lexan prototype. The Lexan version looks pretty good. just small. Ran across an interesting new release coming from FS Racing, which this is what I thought initially was a new Arma, but it's not. This is FS Racing's version of an Arma in Fraction. It's very close. Uses Hobbywing electronics in it. Very similar, aluminum chassis down the center with the plastic side guards, full bodied over the wheels. The diffuser and all that looks very similar. FS Racing's been around for quite a while. I know that they used to make some, larger bashers and things like that. Maybe some 5th scale stuff. I know there was FG, but I think FS did as well. But then also they currently make standard bashers, also some like 1/10 scale crawlers, but nothing that's super current. Either way, this was their newest one, and it comes with this very Mustang-esque body, which doesn't look terrible if you're a Mustang fan. I think it looks pretty decent. But there's also some pretty good Mustang body options available for the Arma as well. But depending on where you live, maybe FS Racing is a decent choice for you to get. Here in the US, we don't see it brought in very often. But either way, it was just interesting. It caught me off guard. I thought it was one thing. It was definitely not. Monthly Mayhem is back. Monthly Mayhem is the series where Matt and I typically determine a challenge, take it on, and do weekly videos until the finale. But we're changing it up this time. It's actually just going to be one video from each of us documenting the whole project all at once. But rather than just give all of you one video from each of us, we also invited 6 other YouTubers to join us, giving us a total of 8 participants this time. In addition to Matt and myself, we have CCX RC, Tomley RC, West Desert Wheeler, RC Review, K-Pop RC, and Turks and Jerps. Everyone will be competing in the same challenge with the same rule set, and I think likely wildly different approaches. Really looking forward to this one. We will give the details of what the challenge is here soon. And I think doing the one video at the end, it's going to make for an interesting change up to how we all approach it, and the little bit less course correction during the middle of the project itself. Wild failures or wild successes, who knows? But I think we'll see drastically different results this time than we have in the past. And speaking of Matt, live stream takeover every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. This week, Matt is actually on vacation, so he may pop in for a short time, but likely won't be on the show the whole time. The stream will only be on my side this week, but I'll likely bring on a guest as well, possibly one of the guys from the Monthly Mayhem. So we'll see how that goes, but tune in for that, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. But that does do it for this week's news topics, for this week's question segment. Last week we talked about what are you nostalgic for in RC, whether it be a activity or a vehicle, whatever it is. What do you miss the most? I missed the comp crawling boom from before. A lot of people missed racetracks that closed down in their areas as brick and mortar shops suffered over the years. Tons of different things. Some people missing specific vehicle models like Axial Exo or whatnot. A lot of just different viewpoints, a lot of things that I didn't have any experience with, so it was interesting hearing people's side of it from their point of view. But for this week, I want to know, there was some interesting conversations as always in the Facebook groups. They never fail to surprise me. I want to know, what is the one thing in RC? You can only pick one thing. What is the one thing you would like to see banned in RC, never to return? Let me know. Put it in the comments below. Funny, serious, I don't care. Do your best or worst, whatever it may be. With that, thanks for watching the Scale News Update every Tuesday. Hit the like button if you enjoy them. Subscribe if you're not already. Hit the notification bell so you see the videos as soon as they get uploaded. And we'll see you on the next one.